Some DreamWorks characters never got the credit they deserved. Not the heroes, not the villains, the ones everybody slept on. Starting with number 8, Gingy, a gingerbread man. That's it, that's the character. Okay, but wait, the most powerful man in the kingdom. A torture chair, bright lights in the face, and the victim is a cookie. No legs, no weapons, no army, and still looked Farquaad dead in the eyes and said nothing. Bro survived torture. Do you understand what that means? The most feared man in the land asking one question. And Gingy...
Elaine? Well, she's married to the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man!
She's married?
sang. Not because he was scared, because he knew exactly what he was doing. Zero fear, zero hesitation. Tougher than every warrior in that entire film. And we treated him like a Christmas commercial joke. Different level. That's the thing about DreamWorks. The ones who make you laugh the most are usually the ones who understand the assignment better than anyone. And nobody understood Shrek better than this guy. Number 7. Donkey. Everyone saw Donkey as the annoying one. The one who talks too much. The one nobody asked for. But here's what nobody noticed. Donkey was the only character in the entire franchise who saw Shrek as a person from day one. Not a monster, not a problem. Not something to fix, a person. While everyone else ran from Shrek, Donkey followed him home. Uninvited, unbothered. You ever had a friend like that? The one who just shows up, doesn't ask permission, doesn't need an invitation, just decides you're worth it before you even believe it yourself. That's Donkey. And when Shrek pushed him away, really pushed him, Donkey didn't leave. He just waited. Because he already knew something Shrek hadn't figured out yet, that he was worth staying for. Different level. Donkey chose Shrek when nobody else would. But this next one? She trained her whole life for something, gave everything, and then watched it get handed to someone else in a single afternoon. Number 6. Tigress. Let's be real for a second. Tigress had every right to be done with all of it. She trained since she was a child, every day, every year, every sacrifice, to become the dragon warrior. And then Po walked in, a panda, who tripped over his own feet, and Shifu pointed at him. We would have quit on the spot, but she didn't. She trained harder. She pushed Po when nobody else believed in him. She protected him even when she didn't want to. And then, the one time she let herself feel something, that hug in Kung Fu Panda 2. If you know, you know. Tigress, the toughest, most controlled character in the franchise, looks at Po and says, "I'm not good at this," and then hugs him anyway. That's not weakness. That's someone who spent so long being strong for everyone else that they forgot what it felt like to just be human. Different level. Tigress carried her pain quietly, never showed it, never complained. But this next one carried something heavier than pain. He carried an entire village, and the one person who was supposed to carry it with him, he almost lost forever. Number 5. Stoic. Everyone saw Stoic as the obstacle, the dad who didn't get it, the one standing in Hiccup's way. But look at what Stoic was actually carrying. Chief of a village under constant attack, a son who doesn't fit the world he was born into, and a wife he lost, who he never stopped looking for. And when he finally finds out Hiccup trained a dragon, he doesn't yell. He doesn't punish him. He looks at his son, this kid he never understood, and says he's proud of him. After everything. That's not a man who didn't care. That's a man who never knew how to say it. And when he dies, protecting the same son the village said would never be a Viking, he doesn't say anything dramatic. He just holds him. Tell me that doesn't hit. Different level. Stoic never got to see who Hiccup became, but this next character, he saw everything coming and decided to stop running from it anyway. Number 4. Puss in Boots. Puss in Boots spent his whole career being the guy who couldn't die. 9 lives, no fear, no consequences, until he looked up and realized he only had 1 left. And for the first time in his life, he was scared. Not of the villain, not of the fight, of dying, of actually being gone. And that wolf, that death wolf, didn't want to fight him, didn't want to defeat him, just wanted him to understand, you've been running from this your whole life. There's something about that moment when someone who's been fearless their whole life finally admits they don't want it to end. That's not a kid's movie moment, that's just real. And at the end, when he chooses to live quietly, no fanfare, no crowd, just life. That's the bravest thing Puss ever did. Different level. Puss chose to live when he finally understood what life was worth. This next one never had that clarity from the start. Always the outsider. Always the one who didn't fit. Until he realized not fitting in was exactly what made him the answer. Number 3. Hiccup. Every Viking in Berk killed dragons. That was the rule. That was the world. And Hiccup, the chief's son, looked at a dragon he could have killed and let him go. Not because he was weak, because he looked at Toothless, this creature everyone told him was a monster, and saw something they couldn't, that it was just afraid, same as him. And then he reached out his hand, slowly. No weapons, no backup, just trust. Do you know how rare that is? To extend trust to something the entire world told you was dangerous. And when it cost him his leg, he didn't ask for it back. He built something new and kept going. Hiccup didn't become a hero because he was the strongest. He became one because he was the only one willing to see things differently. Different level. Hiccup changed a whole world by seeing what others refused to see. But this next one, he spent decades trying to change one student, failed, and then watched that student almost destroy everything, and still found a way to make it right. Number 2. Shifu. Shifu is carrying something nobody talks about. He raised Tai Lung like a son, trained him, believed in him, promised him greatness. And then, when it mattered most, he folded. One word from Oogway and he stepped aside. He let Tai Lung get denied. He let his own student get destroyed, and spent the rest of his life knowing it was his fault. And then Po arrives. This clumsy, noodle-obsessed panda who has no business being there. And Shifu, the master who already failed once, has to try again. Has to teach someone he doesn't believe in. Has to find a new way when the old way broke everything. The dumpling scene isn't just funny. It's a master realizing he was wrong about everything he thought teaching meant. That you can't force greatness. You can only find the path that was already there. Shifu didn't just teach Po. Po fixed something in Shifu that Tai Lung had broken. And nobody ever talks about that. Different level. Shifu learned that being a master doesn't mean having all the answers. But this last one, he had all the answers. Won every fight. Defeated every hero. Got exactly what he wanted and had absolutely no idea what to do with it. Number 1. Mega Mind. The final payoff. Megamind won. Actually won. Metro Man gone. The city, his. Everything he ever wanted. And he stood there, in the middle of it all, completely lost. Because here's the thing nobody talks about with Megamind. He didn't actually want to win. He wanted to matter. His whole life, rejected, outsider. The villain by default because nobody gave him another option. He didn't choose evil. Evil was just the only role left when he showed up. And when he finally got rid of the hero, he realized the hero was the only thing giving his life structure. The only thing that made him feel like he existed. And then, without a script, without a villain manual, he became the hero anyway. Not because someone told him to, not because it was his destiny. Because when everything fell apart, he was the only one who gave enough of a damn to do something about it. That's not a villain's redemption arc. That's someone finally finding out who they actually were, after spending their whole life being told they were something else. Yeah, different level. DreamWorks didn't just make characters, they made people. The kind you don't forget. Which one of these changed you without you realizing it? Because if you watch this until the end, you already know which one you are. Tell me below. And if you want more of this, you already know.